Good morning, everybody. It's another Friday. It's Friday, the 19th of June, 2020, just in case any of us have forgotten. I'm calling this Relationship Friday. Now, you might remember that Wednesday was Relationship Wednesday, but this is a follow up from that. On Wednesday, we considered what it's like and what you should have as a healthy relationship with yourself. Now, I recommend that if you want to get the best out of this video that you kind of revisit. I post them up. Sorry it was a bit later yesterday. There was a bit of an editing problem at the end. I don't think I finished the video, so you heard a bit of other noise. Anyway, I think you should revisit that one and find out how you have a healthy relationship with yourself. Because if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, you can't possibly understand and have a good and healthy relationship with others. So I think we just start with, those of you who didn't watch Wednesdays, just start with our affirmation and our deep breathing. Take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale. And then say your affirmation to yourself. I have a healthy relationship with myself. And remember the words, it was Anthony Hopkins, I think, Good Social Post, saying, believe, believe, believe. And even if you don't, still believe. So saying, I have a healthy relationship with myself, and that kind of sets you up for the day. So today is about creating and maintaining a better relationship with others. Now, many people before this pandemic were maybe working remotely or from home. And those who went into an office probably found it challenging having to work from home remotely now. And of course, there was the saying, oh, we're all in the same boat. Well, we're not all in the same boat. We're all in the same storm, but we're in very different boats. For example, those who used to work from home may or will have found it very different because children are not at school, babies are not at school, their partners may be there, everybody's really kind of close together in a probably quite small working environment, and it can just get overwhelming. You've got dogs, you've got cats. I mean, my son's dog, I love having her, but she wants to sit on my knee and as I'm trying to do something, wants cuddles all the time. We call her the Velcro dog because she just wants to stick to her human. Cats will be crawling about your desk maybe, so all sorts of things are going on. And of course, what's true of life for most of us, even talented and clever people, we don't work in a vacuum. We need to be able to develop relationships with others. And this ability actually will determine how successful you are, not just at work, but in your relationships in general. Now, some people have a natural ability at developing and building good relationships with others, connecting with others, connect quite deeply with others. But don't worry if you're not that kind of person. You maybe think you're not, but if you don't have that natural ability, you can still learn to be that kind of person that will have a deep connecting relationship with others. But it takes, like anything that's good in life, it takes time and effort. So how do you create this? Well, the first point I was thinking about was a story came to mind. Be a good listener. Clear your mind and be a good listener. Now, there was a story, it was an inspirational speaker was talking about, he was giving a talk, he'd go on a long haul flight. And on this flight, he was sitting next to someone who talked about his life, etc. And this inspirational speaker sat and listened. And when they got off a 25-hour flight or whatever, obviously breaks in between time, but when he got off, the person turned to him, and the person who'd been talking turned to him and said, it's been absolutely fabulous connecting with you. Now, it was interesting that the inspirational speaker had hardly said anything, but clearly by focusing and listening, this person really felt valued. So there's a kind of deep connection there. So most people, when we start talking with others, most people are probably, their mind starts filling with, what can I say? What am I going to say? So you're not really listening to the person. And do you remember my effective listening model? And that's for effective communication. There's the 4 steps: the FA, the acknowledge, the clarify, and respond. Now, the first stage, the FA, is not the nasty F word, it's focus. Focus and attend. If you focus and attend, then you can do this by taking a deep breath. That deep breath gives you time and space to think and listen, so you just don't sort of blurt out everything that's in your mouth. And when you're doing that, you can feel that connection by that you're focusing on the other person. And when you're a good listener, people want to connect with you and spend time with you. The next stage, acknowledge. This is your moment to not jump in to speak, but to nod your head, and even the sort of words, it's showing that you're listening to the other person. And it can work in workplaces, it can work in family relationships, friend relationships. Everybody wants somebody who can listen to them effectively. So there's no point in jumping in. And if you still keep doing your deep breathing, then that acknowledge stage, just nodding your head, you've got to show that you are listening. And of course, in difficult times, we're not meeting face to face. It means that you've perhaps to use words, okay, doesn't need to be saying anything more than that. Now, the next stage, the clarify stage, that is the stage that is missed out by, I would say, most people. I do it as well. You think you've heard someone and you're like, oh, right, I know what they want, and you're off and running. Well, this is the clarification stage, the clarify. That's your time to ask the right question. Now, it doesn't mean to say that you're agreeing with the person, but it's your time you need to do this so that you ensure that you understand where the other person's coming from, what they're saying. Now, you can maybe repeat back to them, what they said, but in your own words. And then that's making sure that you understand that what they were saying makes sense to you. You might sort of say, oh, I heard what you said, was it? And then you can go on to put it into your own words. And by clarifying, you are connecting more deeply with the other person. And this applies in all relationships. I think lots of breakdown in relationships at work, families, friends, is because we kind of don't go through these steps. Now, I'm setting them out just now as if they're kind of clear step by step. They're not necessarily that, but it gives you a kind of framework to become a good listener, an effective listener, and effective communicator. Now, the response stage, that's one where everybody thinks, oh, that's the time to say, oh, yes, I agree with you, or no, I don't agree with you. And of course, I think just now, there's just lots of angst around the world on lots of issues, and we tend not to be good listeners at this. We're not even allowing people to maybe have their own opinions, and everybody wants, it's like instead of saying listen to me, they're actually wanting you to agree with their opinion. And it's a kind of dangerous sort of situation to get into. So the response stage, this is paying further attention to what the other person was saying. Now, the other person, if you respond in the way I'm just about to say, they will remember you and they will appreciate the time and effort that you have gone in to listen to them. Now, the response stage is not agreeing, but it's again maybe asking questions. Like if it's a friend, you might, particularly if it's a friend and you've known them for a while, you might want to, you intuitively maybe feel that there's something not quite right, and you might want to say, is everything okay? That's the responding. They don't want somebody to offer a solution to them necessarily. Maybe your friend, in fact, recently I think, and I kind of fell down here. I was very, very keen on talking about what had happened to me, and I realised I was talking to a really good friend who was normally very bubbly, I could feel almost on a telephone or a video call that she was quite excited about what I was talking about, but she was very, very quiet. And I actually didn't pick up on that right away. I was more concerned about myself and how excited I was about what I was talking about. But I resolved that later. I phoned her and I said, look, I'm really sorry, but you were very quiet. And then she shared with me what difficulties she was going through. So if there are any difficulties, then you need to address it head on, have that difficult conversation, and admit that was me admitting that I actually hadn't listened to you. I was kind of off and running on my own agenda. Really good friends have that kind of rapport that they can do that. And if you want a deeper relationship with somebody, try and build that, understand anyway that. Now, the difficult thing, of course, another difficult thing in this pandemic is that we're not having face-to-face meetings. Now, I know we can have video conferencing calls and Skype and Zoom, but not having a face-to-face can create challenges because, and there's lots of research around this, varying research, but the majority sort of says that only 7% of our communication is actually the words you speak. The rest, and that's a lot, the rest is your facial expression, the tone of voice, your body language. So there's lots of things going on that we maybe don't see. You can see it a bit more if you're having a video call, but there's nothing better than that face to face. It's kind of seeing the colour of their eyes, But if I was just maybe coming to you as an audio, I have to remember, and Eddie, my recording studio, always reminds me, you need to be smiling as you speak. People feel that. So when you're kind of doing this, you can develop a deeper relationship with someone. Now, another point, and I don't necessarily agree with this because I have one of the world's worst memories. Goodness knows, as I got older, if it gets even worse. But have you ever been maybe at a talk or whatever on relationships, kind of workshops, but they'll say, always remember someone's name. And if you don't remember someone's name, it means that you've not been interested in them. Well, actually, I don't agree with that because particularly if you meet lots of people. Now, I related it to when I lectured to lots of students. So I might have 400 people and I try and get to know everybody, yes, when they're all there. But then years later, they maybe graduate, and I'm going down the street, and they go, "Oh, hello!" And it's either Mrs. Elliot or Pat. And of course, I'm trying to think who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Have you ever been walking down and somebody even nods and waves, and you think, "I know them from somewhere." I'm not quite sure. So I don't think it means that I had no interest in that person. It's just you meet so many people, it's quite difficult. So what I do, I diffuse this situation. If I meet someone face to face, I recommend you do this as well. You can sort of feel that they don't know. I can't remember her name. So I go, "Hi, I'm Pat. Good to see you again." So I give them my name, and that kind of diffuses any awkwardness. And I've found it stood me in good stead. The other thing, of course, is, "Look, I'm sorry I've forgotten your name." Just try and get rid of the awkwardness. And then they say, "Oh, I'm Billy or Jean or whatever." And you can then go on to talk and listen to each other. So I think it's like I worked somewhere, there's another story here, but I remember I worked in an organisation. There was about maybe 1,000 people in this organisation, and the CEO, the chief executive, really inspired me. It was a lady. It was quite a few years ago when maybe there were fewer chief executives, but I was coming through the reception area and I was walking with her, and I saw her, another young girl was coming towards us, and she said, "Oh, hello, Joan, how's your gran?" So I was quite shocked in a way, because I thought, well, Joan was a junior in one of the offices, but that inspired me. I said to her later, kind of, "Do you know Joan?" And she said, "Oh no, I know everybody in this organisation. I know everybody." And she made a point of doing that, knowing everybody, not invading their privacy, but just getting to know if someone was ill or perhaps they'd been off or, whatever. And people really appreciate that. Another story reminds me, if you're in networking situations, just think of the time, and I've been there, you've probably been there as well. You go along, you're wanting to meet people, and suddenly, in fact, I don't have a card here, but suddenly they're pushing their business card in front of you going, I'm here, and this is, and they're, instead of just taking time. Now, I know networking, some of it, it's like speed dating, some of the speed networking as well. Almost impossible to say everything you want to say, but being a good listener. And another thing I was thinking about was, I write wee notes. If somebody gives me their business card or talks, or even if you phone me, I'll always have a wee pad beside the phone, and I make a note of some of the things you're saying. And it could be, I've got a dog. I'm thinking of Elaine there, I don't think she's on, but she's got a dog called Hamish, and he's lovely. So I love seeing dogs. So that reminds me, I know who that is. So making little notes like that is really helpful. Now, another thing is mood swings. Oh dear, we all have mood swings, and it's, if you have someone who has the blows hot and cold, that's a real no-no to creating healthy relationships with people. So if you're the kind of person, we all have mood swings, but it can be in work or families or anything. As soon as you can feel the tension rising, well, you need to learn to control these emotions. Put your feelings aside when there's meaningful talk has to take place, so you're focusing on what is being said. Now, if you're really struggling with your emotions, again, honesty is the best policy. You're better to admit, look, I kind of can't focus today, I'm struggling a bit. So it's best to tell the other person that you're experiencing a difficult time, or look, I'm kind of in a bad mood just now, not with you, but it's not maybe the best time to talk about meaningful things. So it's got nothing to do with them, but you won't be able to focus on what they're saying, and then that's better than pretending. And most people will appreciate you being open and honest about how you feel. And you can do this with work colleagues, family and friends. I'm sure you can think of times, whether it's at work or with family, and you're in the bad mood and you really don't want to listen to what the other person's saying, but you try, and it blocks everything, because the other person can feel that there's an energy. It's interesting. I'm very keen on, when you're with people, that you understand what this kind of energy around them. And again, it's great if you're face to face. If you're not, a bit more difficult if it's a video, or telephone, audio. What you say and share, right? It's important, obviously, if you're creating a deep, meaningful relationship with someone, you maybe want to share your life story with them. But when you first meet someone, take your time, pace yourself. Once you've created and built this deeper relationship with someone, you can then share more personal information if you want to. So it's a difficult thing, because you're excited sometimes about meeting someone new, and suddenly you want to tell them all about yourself. But if you're the good listener, and let them tell their story as well. So people who are good at building healthy relationships, they're not afraid either of sharing their feelings. They're able to mirror the feelings or the emotions of the other person, and you can both then share in the joy and the happiness, the frustration, the sadness, the ups and downs, and that helps a relationship grow deeper. Now, sharing your experience. This is a difficult one, because when you're sharing something, you have to show empathy and sensitivity. Now, there'll be times when you're able to share your own experience. Someone might tell you, in my situation, somebody might tell me about the loss of a loved one. And of course, I could jump in and immediately start talking about, yes, I've experienced that too, and I've lost that, and you're kind of overshadowing their conversation. So that's a difficult one. You want to empathise in the sense that you understand where they're coming from, but don't try and overshadow someone. And in situations where maybe somebody's excited about knowing something, that's a difficult one, because you might want to jump and say, oh, I know that too. And suddenly it's almost like you're showing off, and nobody likes the show off. So, but if you're genuine, be humble, and be positive. Now, be confident as well. And what I'm talking about here is self-confidence. When you are confident about who you are and you've got a positive attitude to life, then people want to connect with you and be around you. Always be the person who wants the best for others and wants others to succeed. So be aware, be self-confident. When you're got this self-confidence and self-assurance, then you exude a positive energy around you, and this in turn creates a feel-good factor for everyone, you and everybody around you. And of course, a self-confident person doesn't need to draw attention to themselves. They have time for others in their life. And also they're people who continually learn. They turn challenges into opportunities. They're always looking to improve their own personal development, not just career or work, but they grow as a person every day. So the affirmations for today, I'll repeat again, is believe, believe, believe. And say to yourself, I have a healthy relationship with myself. I have a healthy relationship with others. And that's using the 3 P's. The P for personal, that's the I. The P for positive, that's the healthy relationship. And P for the present or past tense, I have. It's in the moment. So today I thought that we would do, I think, the letting go meditation, because there's so many things going on in our lives just now that we're suffering from emotional pain, and that can be very, very difficult. And I think that this is a technique that I've learned to let go of emotional pain. Most people at some point, we've all been hurt by someone. We maybe even have hurt ourselves. So I think it's important that we're able to let go. And of course, smile and laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. So we'll just do together the meditation, and it's my Mind Bites letting go. And this helps you to let go of emotional pain. So if you want to just sit, they're very short, but if you have your feet on the ground, just plant them on the ground. We're in the house. If you can do it outside, it's wonderful, doing these things in nature, breathing in the fresh air. Shoulders back so you feel confident. And sitting comfortably, just let yourself sink into the chair. You can do this when lying down as well. Now I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now take a deep breath in through the nose, and then exhale. Now I want you to follow my voice. Listen to my voice. Now choose something or someone that is hurting or has hurt you, even if you're not sure who it is or what it is. We all suffer from some kind of pain. It can often be something over which you have no control. The only control you have over something is your own feelings and how you deal with it. So the hurt and emotional pain will be felt somewhere in your body. Now I want you to take a moment to think about where this pain is sitting. Is it in your head, your heart, your stomach, your shoulders, your neck, and even in your legs? Now I want you to give this feeling, this hurt, this pain, a number. and it's a number from 0 to 10. 0 is for no pain, and 10 is for intense pain or hurt. Now take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale. Now take a moment to feel your body, every part of it, inside and out. Now imagine you can touch every part of your body, inside and out. Now when you breathe in slowly, I want you to feel your breath fill your body. Let the breath fill your body and mind. Now when you exhale, feel that breath leave your body. Now when you breathe in again through your nose and hold, I want you to imagine sending positive thoughts and feelings, like a smile, to the part of your body that hurts. And say silently to yourself, I let it go. I let it go. Now breathe in again and say, I let it go. And as you exhale, still send positive thoughts and good feelings, like a smile, to every part of your body. Now slowly open your eyes and say, I let it go. I let it go. Now ask yourself, what number would you give the hurt or the pain now? Now the number should be lower. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times, but if you do, you will find that if your pain has been 8, 9 or 10, it will reduce. And I do this frequently if I find just feelings getting too much for me. I do this exercise and the pain can reduce to 2 or 3, sometimes 1. But it's excellent for helping you let go of emotional pain. So anytime you need to, the emotional pain, when it overwhelms you, and when you lose a loved one, and many of us have during this time before this. My son, I know a friend recently, has lost a loved brother, close friend, and that's me getting emotional. So I've got to think of my red door, blue door exercise. But you can let go of the emotional pain. But remember, it's okay to cry. We need these moments of crying uncontrollably, but that's when we're in our own time and space to do that. So repeat this exercise whenever you need to feel just a wee bit of warmth and comfort. You're sending that smile and that hug to your inner self. Remember, of course, to smile, and even if you've lost loved ones, there's wonderful memories. Keep them. Nobody can take away your memories. So have a great weekend, and I'm sending virtual hugs to everybody, and if you're alone, give yourself a hug. I know it looks a bit creepy, but it's not. We need to have touch, and you can do that for yourself. There's energy in our physical sort of hands touching even ourselves. So enjoy the weekend, and virtual hugs to everybody, and I'll be back on Monday at 10 o'clock. I haven't thought about a topic yet. If you have topics that you'd like me to discuss, and I can, give me time, send me a private message or just post something up. I will consider what I can do for Monday. So have a great weekend, and a virtual hugs again, kisses to everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.